In the last session, we discussed about the people code and application packages. In today's session, we will start with some more reporting tools. That particular reporting tool is query. First one is the query. You know one thing, we practiced a lot of tools. That means almost we are at the end of the course. That means we practiced people code, application engine, SQR, packages, everything. Now, everywhere, one common point, PeopleSoft query. Query, writing a query. Sometimes simpler queries, sometimes complex queries, multiple joins, blah, blah, blah. Now, whenever we are writing an application engine program or SQR, sometimes you see like not here, larger queries with multiple joins. You can see if you open any payroll related stuff, here you see they are using all these tables: job, names, person effective date, per org assigned, per org instance, location table, department table, company table, employment table. You know, all these tables are delivered. All these tables are
Venkat,
yes.
I can't see your screen.
Oh, 1 second. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, good.
All these things are delivered. That means this is the query they defined in SQR. In the particular query, they are joining all these tables like job, names, person data, effective date, per org assignment, per org instance, location table, department table, company table. They are using some complex join here. You know one thing, if you are writing a manual query, sometimes it may lead some issues. Let us say, first I am trying to write a query. Where should I go? Main menu. That means I am taking a help. Yes, I am ready to take help from PeopleSoft query. It's a tool. Here we can build the query. Absolutely, you are right. Here we can build the query. Query auto-generated. Here query will be auto-generated. We can pick the query for our practice purposes. Go to the reporting tools. Query manager. Create a query. Record name. You have to check the record name. Job. Yes, job. Whenever I clicked on add record, you know, job record is effective dated. That's why it's clearly telling us an effective date criteria has been automatically added for this effective dated record. Okay. Whenever we are writing the query, generally what we will do, select star from or select so and so fields from the table. You see the SQL, as of now query is invalid. Why? Because in the PeopleSoft query, how many fields you would like to select, you have to select it manually. Department ID, job code, supervisor ID. Okay, next tax allocation code. company, pay group. All these stuff I am selecting. Now view the SQL. You see, the SQL was generated. Just a request from my side, and my voice is not that much good today. Are you able to follow me or any issues? Srini?
It's good.
Okay, thank you. Now, the query was generated. You know how simple it is if you are writing query manually. Yes, there might be some syntax issues, there might be some issues with the joining. Now, I am trying to add one more table for this to this query. Go to the records again. Otherwise, first I would like to save my query. Bottom, save. Whenever you are saving the query, it will ask query name. Okay, add the query name. Employee, pay data. You know one thing, query type, owner. Who is the owner? If I given it as a private query, then I am the user. I can only run it. I am only eligible person to run it. Make it as public. Then any of the user can run it. Employee payroll data. Now you successfully saved this query. Now I would like to see the national identification information on the query page, on the query results. Now the record name, pers_NID. Here, whenever I selected this record, I would like to join the record. With what? With job. It's a standard join. A.employed equal to B.employed. A is job, B is personal data. Sorry, person ID. Now I am adding this. From this table, NID, I am selecting national ID. I am selecting the national ID. You see the SQL, employee, employer CD, and here the national ID. Now save it. You simply click on run. It will generate the data for you. Totally 3,754 rows are available. Now you can pick this query and place it here. You know one thing, in this query, simply they are using a search query which is helping the system. It's trying to understand who is the user running the program. You can just remove this stuff. This is your original query, what system is expecting. Now go ahead and run it in the backend also. It will work. 100% it will work. Now here in the output results, you see NID for some of the employees, national ID is blank. I don't want to see national ID blank in my result. Generally what we will do, generally in the database, we will write some queries. Like we will add some conditions like and national ID not equal to null. Here and B dot national ID not equal to null. Okay, one second. Now you see 3667 rows are there. Now, where we can add this condition, it's a database, it's an editor, we can write it manually. But here, it's a SQL generated by the system where we can write it in the PeopleSoft query. Here we are selecting the records. Here we are building the query by selecting the fields. I don't want to see all these like ample record effective sequence. If anybody is saying I don't want to see the ample record, please make sure ample record is a key field in the job. It might have, if you are removing the ample record, there is a possibility of having some duplicates on the results. Now, first of all, I would like to build this condition, this simple condition, national ID not equal to blank or not equal to null, where we can do it. Here in the query, we are selecting the data. Here you see in the criteria, there is an option, criteria. Open it. Add the criteria. Simply add criteria. Yes, we would like to add a field. Open the prompt. Which table? B. Person ID. Show fields. Here you see national ID. Then not equals to. Not equals to. Not equals to null. Not equals to null. You see, okay. Okay, let's say simply not null. It won't work. It's not a date field. Which we can use. Now you can see not equal to null. Simply you can leave that, it will take it as a null. It's limited here. That means we simply added a condition not equal to null. Now I would like to add a condition, one more condition. Why? Because whenever we are using the person ID table in any of the join, please keep in mind we have to add two more conditions, minimum one condition, like primary NID equals to Y. Absolutely. Then here you see criteria, national ID not equal to null. Add one more criteria, field B national ID primary NID equals to a constant. Yes or no? Yes. Now click on OK. Now you see one more criteria added in the SQL also you see. Save it. Now click on run. It will reduce some more count. Then I would like to add all active employees in the system. Then add the criteria A.HR status, that means in the job HR status equals to active. Click on OK. SQL. Click on run. It's some more filtered in this list. Now add some more complexity, like add the personal data table to pick the name. Otherwise, names table. I'm picking the names data, name information. Name information. Here I'm joining my name table with my job table. Here you see the auto join criteria. Query has detected the join conditions below. You see, names table, join record. Which record you would like to join? Job or person ID? Better to prefer the job. It's an automated auto join criteria delivered by the system. How many key fields are under matching fields? Add the criteria. It's effective dated. Again, the effective dated criteria has been automatically added. From this, I am selecting first name and last name. First name and last name. Here, view the SQL. Now, add one more criteria. In the field. From the names, name type equals to primary. Primary name type only I am selecting. Now view the SQL here. Save it and click on run. Here is the last name and first name data. Now my client is asking, okay, Venkat, can we download it to, can we send this information to the user? Absolutely. You can simply download it to Excel or XML or run to Crystal. You can click on view all, you can download it to Excel. Now, okay, query is generating the data. Can we arrange these fields in a proper manner? Employee ID, first name, last name, employee record, effective date, effective sequence. Okay, I don't want to see the sequence. Okay, department ID, job code. I don't want to see the supervisor ID, tax allocation code. I would like to filter some of the fields. Okay, in the job, I don't want to see the effective sequence. I don't want to see the supervisor. Okay. Company and pay group also, it's not required for me. Now save it. Now go to the run. Now I would like to see employee ID, employee record, first name, last name. I would like to adjust. Where we can go? Fields. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is the order. Reorder, sort. New column. First column is employee ID. Next, I would like to display national ID. Next, first name. Next, last name. Next, employee record. Effective date. Department ID. Job code. Tax location. Now click on OK. Have you observed? Save it. Oh, some mismatching of the numbers. 1 national ID. Okay, 4. Next, first name, last name, MPLRCD, effective date, job code, department ID, what happened? 1 second. Okay. 1. Next is national ID. Next is first name, last name. Next, MPLRCD, effective date, job code, department ID, tax location code, like this. Sorry. Here. Now click on run. Here. Employee ID, national ID, first name, last name, MPL record, effective date, job code, department ID, and tax location. Now simply download it to Excel. If you open it, it will display like this. Data. Now I would like to place some meaningful heading, employee ID, national ID. Then where we can change these headings. Again in the fields. Here you see the heading text. Edit. Employee ID. NID. You can change it. The heading text. National ID. First name, okay. The last name. Next, effective date, job code. Okay, like this. We can alter the output also, like this. Now I would like to add some more conditions. Like effective date between. Okay, go to the criteria. Here, effective date less than or equals to current date. Okay. Add one more criteria. Field effective date. Job dot effective date between constants. First constants I am giving. January 1st, 2018. Current date. Now you see the sequel. Now simply save it and run it. Only 20 rows of data came up. Now, yes, here is the scenario. Now my client is asking, can we pass these dates as our choice? That means whenever I am running this query, can I give these dates as inputs? That means, yes, absolutely. In real time, some of the scenarios, users may ask us to develop some queries. They are not expecting any application engine programs, SQR or XML publishers. Simply they are expecting one query. They can check the data. They will give some input parameters. how we will provide those input parameters for this query. Okay, first in the criteria, what we did, effective date between constant. Here I would like to give expression. What is expression? How can I do it? Between 1 and 2. What is this 1 and 2? Have you observed? Undefined runtime prompt. That means, okay, 1 and 2, you know, we used these kind of syntaxes in people code whenever we are building the queries in CreateSQL or SQL.xc. Here we are using column 1 and column 2 are point variables. We should define what is column 1 and what is column 2. Go to the prompts, add prompt, field name, effective date. Okay, effective date, heading text, begin date. I'm using a field effective date, begin date, the heading text. You know, column 1. Next, add prompt. Again, effective date. End date. Column 2. Now try to save it. Now it's successfully stored. I created 2 prompts with column 1 and column 2. In the criteria, I used what? Between expressions, column 1 and column 2. Between we used, that's why it came here and. Now, okay, go to the run, SQL. In the SQL also it is showing column 1 and column 2. Now, run it. It is asking what is the begin date for your criteria. Okay, my begin date for the criteria is January 2017 to current date. Now your query is running. It's generating the data. 38 rows got fetched. Now your user can enter the data. Sorry. Your user can give some inputs to your query. Yes, you can build these type of queries. Venkat, can we give parameter as prompt? Absolutely. Here you used prompts. Add one more prompt. Prompt is like what we can do. Company. I'm giving. Okay. Edit table. I am selecting it as company underscore TBL. Observe carefully. I selected company table. Column 3. You know, column 3. What is the difference between this prompt and this prompt? This prompt is expecting an input. This prompt also expecting an input, but this prompt is validating the stuff from this prompt table.
Venkat, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes actually I'm given some prompt tables, I'm not getting the data.
Where?
You give the company table, you give the something like that one, and sometimes I'm giving the table, like, you know, sometimes the table doesn't have a set area or something like that one, and how to fix that one? You click the edit, the third company column prompt, you saw the prompt list in the prompt, yeah, that one. Because the prompt table is company table, that's correct? Some of the fields we are giving, some of the tables, we are not getting any prompt values. What is the reason behind that one?
That means values you're saying, or in the prompt table list you're talking about?
Yeah.
No, not in the table list, right? You're saying about the
Not in the
target.
table list. When you click something like, then we are expecting some valid values from the prompt table. That's
We will see. I will show you. Company. We designed one prompt. I would like to use that criteria. Add the criteria. A dot company. Where it is? Here. That means job dot company equals to column 3. Now, SQL. Now try to run it. Begin date January 1st, 2017. End date, current date, company. Here you are saying, right, Srini?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm not getting the data.
Then click on advanced lookup. Right?
It's the settle most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. If you clicked on advanced lookup, here if set ID is blank, or for that particular set ID, the bottom list is blank. Companies are blank means are sometimes set ID is the key criteria. How it will appear, I will show you with one more example. Okay, let us say first I'm selecting a company. Click on OK. Now it is giving us the result, 38 employees. Okay, save it. Now I'm adding one more prompt. Okay, it's a pay group. Okay, table edit. It's a prompt table is pay group table. Okay, now save it. Go to the criteria, add the criteria, field pay group equals to expression column 4. Okay, now go to the SQL. Here you see column 4. Go to the run. Now begin date January 1st to current date, company GBI, you see the group, you see company, it's resulting 93, Srini. If I am selecting a company AP, it's no pay group available. You see the advanced lookup. It is looking for the pay group with respect to this company. Sorry. With respect to the company. As like as in your scenario, this value is a child value which will depends on this set ID. Please check the setup table. This particular child value is available or created under the set ID. Am I answered your question, Srini?
Yeah, because actually, that's correct. Because I saw the set ID is coming as a blank. That's why the value is not coming up. And how to fix that one?
Set ID is coming as blank.
Yeah. That means maybe the set ID is not in my selected list of column.
100% it might be in it might be a view. Am I right? You are using
the prompt. The prompt table.
Yeah, prompt table is a view.
So, yeah, most of the time is a views. Then I'm getting the issue actually.
Please check the key fields.
In the view.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the set ID is missing in the view. That is the reason it's not coming up.
Yes.
Okay.
Please check the set view results first in the back end. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, KU1 is the pay group ID I'm giving. Now you see only one result came up. Like this, we can build our run control. Simply, I can say it's a run control parameter only. Yes, 100% it's a run control parameter. You know, here we are giving a lot of parameters. You know, sometimes we will write some subqueries. All active employees data we are fetching. Generally, what we will do, now my query is going to be more complicated like this. All active employees data and national ID information, name information I am fetching. And whatever the employee IDs are generated by the query, those employees must and should be paid in the current pay period or paid in a specific pay period. Yes, some more logic, some more complex we are adding. That means simply I can say like this. Sorry, I can say like this. What we will write? Okay, let us say this is the query. At end of the query, we will write and a dot employed in some other condition. How should we write? Again in the criteria, add criteria, field a dot employed. Okay, subquery a dot employed in list subquery. Now observe carefully. I am clicking on subquery. It is asking me a record name. My record name is paycheck. Add the record. What are all the information I'm expecting? Only employed. Criteria. You know, we have to add manually the criteria. This is our paycheck. A dot employee equals to D dot employee. First criteria matched. Second criteria, A dot company equals to paycheck dot company. Next, one more criteria. A dot pay group equals to D dot pay group. Next, pay end date between. Here again, I would like to build a logic. Here, D dot pay end date between, where it is, between again expressions. Here I am giving column 5, column 6. Build the prompts. Again, here you can say pay and any date you can use generally. Any date. Pay end date, pay period, start. Okay. Simply. One more prompt. Pay end date, pay period, end. Okay. Simply. Now save it. Now you see the SQL, how big it was generated. Now, if you're running it, it is asking too many parameters. As a user, you know, okay, let's say January 1st, 2017 to current date, company GBI, pay group KU2, pay period start date, January 1st to current date. Now, it's resulting only 19 employees. As a developer, if you are writing this much of query manually, you may receive a lot of errors. Then you can build a query like this, and you can use it in your application engines, your SQRs, everywhere. This is the very, very important session. Why? Because this query builder is more helpful in practicing App Engines, SQR, People Code, XML Publisher package. Everywhere we are using these queries. You can check other criteria also, having, from. You can check these. But whatever we discussed, please practice it on your machine. Tomorrow we will start with a new topic.